And it's Ken Kreitzer for Cam Vets Media. We're out at the University of Tulsa. Army Black Knights are going to play Tulsa Golden Hurricane tomorrow in an American Athletic Conference game. And have a chance to talk to the director of the marching band at the University of Tulsa, the Golden Hurricane, and that is Matt Schepers. Matt, good to see you. It's great to be out here in Tulsa and hear a little bit about your band. I guess a lot of preparations go into your performance planning for tomorrow.
Yeah, well, we're excited to have you guys coming into town. Everybody's excited to have Army here. There's a ton of stuff going on tomorrow. So for pregame, for instance, I know the Golden Knights are going to be parachuting in with the game ball, and that's really exciting and has been a lot of fun to work around in terms of, the logistical aspect of that. Something that I haven't had to work with before, but it's going to be very cool. And for the halftime show, we're going to be doing a veteran salute, so we'll do all of the military branches hymns and play some America the Beautiful. And then afterwards, I believe there's a group of, I want to say it's 15 young men who will be taking the oath of enlistment during halftime. So that's a really, really big deal. And we're really, really honored to be a part of that as well. So, yeah.
Well, Matt, it's great. Great rundown of tomorrow. Glad the Golden Knight parachute team will be participating as kind of a fixture up at West Point for the cadet parachute team. And I'm just fascinated about marching bands because you're performing music. You've got a variety of instruments being played, and you're marching out on the field and doing precision moves. And how do you do that? How do you put that all together?
Well, we're really lucky here in the Tulsa area because we have, I don't know how many people know this, but the Tulsa area is one of the national hotspots for high school marching bands. So some of the finest high school marching bands that you'll ever see perform here in Tulsa. In the last 10 years alone, I can think of 4 high schools that were Grand Nationals finalists in Indianapolis. Those would be Broken Arrow, Owasso, Jinx, and Union High Schools. And even the smaller band programs around here endeavor to hold themselves to that same standard as the bigger schools. So we have a very competitive, healthy band scene here in the 918 area. We're really lucky to get a lot of those kids here at TU. They'll come in and commute in, and so they already come to us really, really highly trained. We work on memorization of the music a lot, so the students will work in sections to do that a lot of the times, and we're lucky to have students who are majoring in music education who are able to take those sections aside and work with one another. In that smaller group setting, so I don't have to fret so much about that being there. They take a lot of the responsibility onto themselves. We've spent about 3 weeks working on the drill for this show. So students work the formations that they're doing. We have this neat little app on our phones called the UDB app, so they can actually pull up a picture of what the form looks like, and they can see their direct pathways, and it's made teaching drill here so easy. And it's a really common thing to use the Ultimate Drill book these days, but that's been a big part of it. So with those sorts of things, it makes my job pretty easy. I will say that this being the smallest Division I university, I think, in Division I FBS, we have a fairly high participation rate in terms of the overall student body in our marching band. So we're at about 90 this year. We were at about 55 last year. So the music program here at TU is growing again, thanks in large part to a lot of commitment in scholarships and funding from our administration, like the Office of the President and the Office of the Provost. So it's going in a great direction here. So, yeah, man.
Well, it's so impressive when we see college marching bands. Following Army, we've been out to some of the big places around the country, and just watching the precision and the training that it takes and the discipline is amazing. When we were out at Wisconsin, the band director told me that he organized the band in subunits of about 8 performers at a time, with like one senior in charge, who was also there to make sure if somebody gets sick and can't perform on a given day that they have a replacement who knows what they're doing. How do you handle some of the just organization within your student leadership on your band?
Well, we have section leaders for every single section in the band, so all the trumpets report to one junior, and all of the clarinet players are reporting to a senior, and all of my flute players report to one of those seniors, and then they directly will contact my drum majors, a pair of young ladies. One is a senior drum major, and she's going to be in the TU School of Law, I believe, next year. And then the other one is a music education major who is going to be a band director someday. And with that team of students, they can coordinate, this student's not going to be here. We've got a replacement here. He knows the drill. He knows the music. We can plug him in there. And like I said, they're a big part of learning the music and teaching the fundamentals and the way that we do things here at TU. We don't have like a subsection leaders. We're not like Wisconsin big, but I definitely have people moving around, checking those visual lines and that sort of thing. It's, that's one of the great things that band does, is teaches that accountability and leadership as your students age and mature.
Yeah, and so much teamwork to be able to perform with that precision, doing both the music and being a marching band. And tell us a little bit about your career. What have been some of the steps along your path in music?
Well, I got my bachelor's degree and master's degree both from Oklahoma State University in Stillwater, and after that, I went and taught in public schools for about 12 years. I took this job here at TU last year, so this is my second year here. I did not intend to teach in public schools as long. I'd always wanted to be a university band director, but I really fell in love with especially teaching beginners. That's such a fond memory of my career, and something that I miss is, you're the first one to put that trumpet or those drumsticks in a kid's hand. But yeah, I had some really fantastic bands here at a smaller school in the Tulsa area, and we were able to do great things, and that's my story, man.
Hey, that's terrific. Now, final thought, why is it a great skill and activity for a youngster in school, it could be elementary school, middle school, high school, to take up learning a musical instrument and then performing as part of a marching band or perhaps an orchestra?
Well, besides the obvious leadership stuff that I was chatting about earlier, leadership, teamwork, and all these skills that you learn in band, just like you do in athletics, we also know that learning a musical instrument can increase your ability and your fine motor skills, linguistics, and mathematics, all of these sorts of things. It's a gift that'll keep giving to your kids for years and years and years and years after they've even put the instrument down. There was a TED Talk that I saw a few years ago that mentioned that in the first 6 months of learning to play a musical instrument, the corpus callosum in your brain will actually grow by 50%, which is a really cool thing to think about. There are just so many bonuses for it. And it's also worth mentioning that if you know how to play an instrument and you're in a part of a band, you can belong somewhere, anywhere you go. So these freshmen come to TU, and they have a place to belong in the band program. And when they graduate, they'll have a place to belong if they decide to be in a community program. So there's that musical community that can last your entire life.
Absolutely. Music is a great skill to learn for any young person, and it creates a lifetime skill that they can use in different community activities, maybe in their own band. Matt Schepers is the director of the University of Tulsa Golden Hurricane Marching Band. Great to talk with you. We look forward to your performance out there on the field on Saturday when Army will take on Tulsa. Looking forward to it.
Thanks very much, man. Looking forward to it tomorrow as well.
Absolutely. Thanks for your time. It's Ken Kreitzer for Camp Vets Media. We cover cadets, midshipmen, the military, and veterans proudly since 2008, and we're out in Tulsa, Oklahoma today.